look like a sympathetic crowd. Yes, I'm different from other comics. For one thing, I work at a foreign policy think tank. Yeah, big reaction. So, in theory, my job's supposed to be promoting world peace, but you may have seen I'm fucking up royally. And it's a weird thing being like a foreign policy expert by day and a comic by night. I get confused. Like I was speaking to this group of diplomats, and they started laughing uncontrollably. So then that night I had a comedy gig, and I came out, and people started taking notes. Put that pen down, Bob. But anyway, so then there was like clarifying questions from the crowd, like, well, what is a think tank? And what's your position on the Iran nuclear deal? And so, like any comic who's bombing, of course, I attacked the audience. I said, what the fuck is wrong with you people? And surprisingly enough, it didn't work. So anyway, so that's how that went. But it is a good question, what is a think tank? And, how the fuck should I know, right? But, I do know there's no thinking going on there. Because the job is to sound like you know what you're talking about, which is a challenge. I was on CNN and the guy said, Mr. Hartung, what's next for Ukraine? And I'm thinking, how the fuck should I know? Like, do I look like a foreign policy expert? And then I was like, oh shit, I'm supposed to be a foreign policy expert. So I bought some time. I said, I'm so glad you asked me that question, Ben. I think the two sides, they're either going to hunker down for a long war, or they're going to go straight to the negotiating table, and only time will tell. Only time will tell. What kind of bullshit answer is that? So, anyway, I have another problem when I go on TV, which is I don't really look like an expert. There's this thing called the resting face. It's what you look like when you're on camera. You're not saying anything. Well, my resting face makes it look like I'm about to fall asleep. So, like I'm on the show and they say, we're joined by William Hartung, and I'm just like, so I need to fix that. And I've started using gestures. So I went on the same show, and they said, well, we're joined by William Hartung. They went, not exactly the look I was hoping for, but at least I wasn't asleep. And then they had me debating this guy on a split screen. He started talking, and I went. Then he said something a little silly, so I went. And then finally, he was completely offensive, so I just went. And I did that on Fox News once, and I was banned for life. Because, as you may have noticed, they have really high standards. So anyway, I'm thinking that, I probably need a new job. And I thought, well, hey, I could be a hedge fund manager. But I don't actually know what that is. And then I saw this great job at the Pentagon to help them name wars. I would love that job, but they gotta have to think I like war, so I gotta be tough, I gotta be aggressive, god damn it. So before I go there, I'm gonna call my health insurance company, try to reach a person, because that's guaranteed to piss me off. And so when I get the job, I'm gonna name more jobs after, wars after birds, like, Operation Golden Eagle. How about Operation Annoying Pigeon? You get a bunch of pigeons, and you shit all over the enemy, and their dry cleaning bills are so high, they go bankrupt. Or there's this, my personal favorite, Operation Excuse Me. Russia's about to invade another country, god damn it. So I sent my neighbor Blanche over there, and when the troops approached the border, she said, excuse me, we got here first. And trust me, you do not want to fuck with Blanche. So, so they turned around and go home. Thank you.